session we will be configuring the OSPF and access list. My name is Kedar Dandekar and I am a Cisco certified internet network expert in enterprise infrastructure. So if you have any question, then please feel free to mail me on kedardanekar@nittraining.in. So our first task is to configure the OSPF on router 1, router 2 and router 3. After that we have to configure the router ID 1.1 on router 1, 2.2 on router 2 and 3.3 on router 3. So let's start with router 1. So this is my router 1. So on router 1 we have to configure the router ID 1.1, and on router 1 we have to advertise the network 10 and 13. 10 and 13. Now router 2. So on router 2 we have to set the router ID 2.2.2.2. And on router 2 we have to advertise the network 13, 14 and 11. 13, 14 and 11. Now router 3. So on router 3 we have to set the router ID 3.3.3.3, and on router 3 we have to advertise the network 14 and 12. 14 and 12. So we have done the OSPF configuration. Now let's check the OSPF neighborship on router 2. Show IP OSPF neighbors. So here we can see that router 3 has set the router ID 3.3.3.3 and router 1 has set the router ID 1.1.1.1. Same thing on router 1. If we check show IP OSPF neighbor, so here also we can see that router 2 has set the router ID 2.2.2.2. So on router 2 there are two OSPF neighbor, one is in full state and now one is in still extra state. So let's wait for a minute. Okay, now both the neighborships are in full state. Now let's try to reach from LAN 1 to LAN 2 and also from LAN 1 to LAN 3. So let's check the reachability. PC8. So we will ping 11.1.1.1 first. So we are getting the reachability 12.1.1.1. So we are getting the reachability from LAN 1 to LAN 2 and also from LAN 1 to LAN 3. Now let's try to ping from LAN 2 to LAN 3. PC7 to PC10. Ping 12.1.1.1. So we are getting the reachability from LAN 2 to LAN 3 also. So we are getting the reachability between all the LANs after configuring the OSPF. Now our next task is to configure the standard access list. So PC8 10.1.1.1 from LAN 1 should not be able to reach complete LAN 3 network 12.0.0.0, but PC9 should able to reach LAN 3 network 12.0.0.0. So now whenever we are creating the standard access list, so now the task is saying that we have to block the traffic from 10.1 to complete 12.0.0.0. Okay, so now whenever we try to reach from PC8 to PC10, so the source IP will be 10.1, destination IP will be 12.1. So in standard access list we have to match the source address, okay, because standard access list is always based on the source address. So in standard access list we will match the single host 10.1.1.1 on router 1. So let's create the standard access list on router 1. Access dash list 1 deny host single host which is 10.1.1.1. After that the task is saying that PC9 should get the reachability to the complete 12.0.0.0. So for that we have to create the second statement access dash list 1 permit any. Okay, so either it can be 10.2, 10.3, 10.4 any. So we are permitting any. We are simply blocking the single host which is 10.1.1.1. After that we have to apply this access list. So my router 1 interface E0/2. This is my inbound interface. So IP access dash group 1 in. So this is my inbound interface. So I am applying the access list on my inbound interface which is interface E0/2. Now if we verify the access list statements, so we can see that there are two statements. First statement is denying the single host 10.1 and second statement is permitting rest all the traffic. Okay, so now let's try to ping from PC8 to 12.1 and 12.2. So PC8 ping 12.1, so we are not getting the reachability, and also 12.2, so here also we are not getting the reachability. So from PC8 we are not getting the reachability to the 12.0 network. Now if we check the access list statement again, now here we can see that for the first statement we are getting 12 matches. Okay, and now from PC9 ping 12.1.1.1, so from here we are getting the reachability also for 12.2. So for 12.2 also we are getting the reachability. Now on router 1, if we check again the access list statement, now here we can see that for second statement we are getting 6 matches. Okay, so now access list is working properly here. Now after that, the second thing is that we have to configure the access list so that complete LAN 1 network 10.0.0.0 should not be able to reach LAN 3 network 12.0.0.0, but we have to ensure that LAN 1 network 10.0 should reach the LAN 2 network 11.0. So what is the thing here? We have to block the traffic from 10.0 to 12.0, but we have to ensure that we can get the reachability from 10.0 to 11.0. Okay, so let's configure the access list first again on router 1. So previously we have denied the single host 10.1. Now we are denying the complete network, which is 10.0.0.0. So let's remove the previous statement first. Now we will create the access list again, access dash list 1 deny 10.0.0.0 0.255.255.255 and end and WR. So we are simply creating one statement here which is denying the complete 10.0.0.0 network. So now let's try to ping from PC8 to 12's network. Ping 12.1.1.1. So we are not getting the reachability. Same thing for 12.2. So here also we are not getting the reachability. Let's try it from PC9, which is the second PC from LAN 1. So from PC9 also we are not getting the reachability. For 12.2 also we are not getting the reachability. So the task was saying that we have to block the traffic from 10.0 to 12.0, which is successful. Now the task is also saying that we should get the reachability from 10.0 to 11.0. So let's check it. So from PC8 ping 11.1.1.1. So from 10.0 to 11.0 we are not getting the reachability here. If we try it from the PC9 also 11.1.1.1. So from PC9 also we are not getting the reachability. So why we are not getting the reachability? Because whenever we try to reach from 10.0 to 12.0, so the source IP will be 10.1, destination IP will be, let's say, 12.1. Okay, and now when PC will send the message towards the router will see the source IP is 10.1, and we have created the standard access list in which we are denying the complete 10's network. So the standard access list is based on the source IP address, and our source IP address is 10.1, so the router will drop the message. Same thing, whenever we try to reach from 10.1 to 11.1, source will be 10.1 and destination will be 11.1. And when PC will send the message towards the router, we have created the standard access list in which we have denied the complete 10.0.0.0 network. So the standard access list is based on the source IP address, so he will drop the traffic from 10.1 to 11.1 also. So this is the thing why we have to apply the standard access list always nearby destination. So the task is saying that we have to deny the traffic from 10.0 to 12.0. So nearby destination router is router 3. So router 3 is my near destination router. So router 3 is closest to my destination. So I have to apply this standard access list on router 3, not on router 1. So the good way to apply the standard access list is always nearby a destination. So let's apply the same access list on router 3. So I will remove it from here. So same access list 1 deny 10.0.0.0 0.255.255.255, and now we will give the second statement also permit any. So simply deny the messages that are coming from 10's network, the rest all we have to permit it. Okay, now we have to apply the same access list on interface E0/2, which is my inbound interface. So IP access dash group 1 inbound and WR. Now let's try to ping again now from PC8, which is in my LAN 1. Let's try to ping it for 12.1. So we are not getting the reachability, and we can see here now we are getting the reply from 14.2, which is router 3. Same for 12.2. So we are for 12.2 also we are not getting the reachability. Now let's try to reach 11.1.1.1. So now we are getting the reachability for 11.1 as per the task. Okay, so this is the way why we have to apply the access standard access list always nearby a destination. Now our next task is to configure the extended access list. So we have to configure the extended access list so that PC8, which is in line 1 10.1.1.1, should not able to reach the PC10 12.1. Now here we have to block the traffic from specific source to specific destination. Okay, so extended access list is based on the source IP address also and destination IP address also. So now we will create this extended access list on router 3. So let's remove the previous access list. So we have to create the extended access list, access dash list, let's say 100, permit IP. If you hit a question mark, now here you will match a single host which is 10. Sorry, we have to deny the traffic, deny IP host 10.1.1.1 and host 12.1.1.1. So we are simply denying the traffic from 10.1 to 12.1 and rest we have to permit all the traffic. So access dash list 100 permit IP from any source to any destination. And now we have to apply this access list on our inbound interface, which is E0/2. So IP access dash group 100 inbound. Okay, so let's try to ping it from PC8. So the task is saying that we should not get the reachability from 10.1 to 12.1, but we should get the reachability from 10.1 to 12.2. So ping 12.1.1.1. So we are not getting the reachability. The reply is coming from 14.2. Now for 12.2, so for 12.2 we are getting the reachability. If we try to ping from PC9 also, so from PC9 we are getting the reachability, and now for 12.2 also we are getting the reachability. Now after that we have to configure the access list so that router 1 should not get the telnet access with any of the router 3 IP address 14.2 and 12.2. So before configuring this access list we have to configure the telnet first on router 3. So let's configure the telnet on router 3. Before that we will remove this access list that we have created right now. So let's remove this access list first. Now we will create the configure the telnet configuration. Enable password will be Cisco, line BTY 0 space 4, again the password will be Cisco, login and transport input telnet. So we have done the telnet configuration on router 3. Now let's try to take the access of router 3 from router 1. So telnet, let's say 14.1.1.2. So we are getting the access, enable Cisco. So we are getting the access of router 3 from router 1. Now let's try to take it from 12.1.1.3. So here also we are getting the access. Okay. So now we are getting the access of router 3 from router 1 using telnet. Now we have to block this. Okay, so we have to block that router 1 should not get the telnet access. Okay, so we have to create the access list. So access dash list 100 deny TCP host 13.1.1.1 to destination, or let's say any. Okay, so we will create any, that means router 1 should not take the telnet access with 14.2 also and 13.2 also, any. Okay, and now EQ 23. So the port number is 23 and rest all the traffic we have to permit. So access dash list 100 permit IP any. Okay, and we have to apply this access list on again E0/2. So I think we have already applied it. So let's check it. Show run interface E0/2. Okay, so we have applied the access list on our E0/2 interface on router 3. So now let's try to take the telnet from router 1. Let's try to take with 14.2. So we are not getting the telnet with 14.2 also, and also for the 12.2. So we are blocking the telnet. Okay. So thanks for watching the video. If you have any question, then please feel free to mail me on kedardantikar@nittraining.in. Thank you.